Hello, good evening, and welcome back. From the Express, Brexit party how Jean-Claude Juncker originally dreamt up Brexit Day victory party. Jean-Claude Juncker originally dreamt up a victory party planned for the day after the UK was officially scheduled to leave the European back in March 2019. This is from today, just a few hours ago. March 2019, March 29th, 10:59 p.m. That was supposed to be a good day. I had my celebrations in stock as well. The BBC's Brussels reporter Adam Fleming has claimed. So, March 30th, it says. And bear in mind, this story comes just days after Juncker saying that he should have interfered in the elections more, the elections in the referendum more, to prevent the UK from leaving. And we already know that he's trying to get the worst deal possible, as Theresa May is trying to do as well, so we don't actually leave. We'd leave in name, but not in any meaningful manner. And then by having such a shit deal, the UK would then fall apart afterwards, and they'd say, oh, see, we're so bad outside the EU, we might as well have a referendum to get back in because life was so much better then. So you fucked it up yourself, because that was your ploy all along, wasn't it? That it's do something so badly that you're not asked to do it again. It's a childish ploy, and everyone can see right through it. We know exactly what you're doing, so step aside. That's why you haven't stepped aside. That if you didn't believe in what you were doing, then you would leave. But you do believe in what you're doing, and what you're believing in and what you're doing is to put the UK in the worst position possible in order to then claim that we're doing awfully outside the EU. It's ridiculous. Jean-Claude Juncker originally wanted to plan a victory party on March 30th this year, the day after Brexit. Britain was officially planned to fully cut ties with the European Union, and BBC's Brussels correspondent Adam Fleming claimed some people had a quiet word with the President of the European Commission to push the plans back to Europe Day on Europe Day, which is March 9th, because that was when it was supposedly started in Romania in the 1950s. Steel and Coal Committee. In 1950. That's how old it is. No wonder people call it the EUSSR. That's it. On Thursday, EU27 leaders met in a Romanian town of Sibiu. I'm sorry. Go ask V how to say it. Without Britain, despite the UK still being a fully paid up member of the EU. It's very bratty and cliquey and bitchy, isn't it? This is just classism as far as I'm concerned. It's just high school all over again, is it? Or maybe even primary school. Speaking of BBC's Politics Live, Fleming said this summit jumped up 2 years ago by Jean-Claude Juncker, who originally wanted it to happen on the day after the original Brexit Day, so it's meant to be March 30th. Yeah, and some people had a quiet word with him and said, you really want to have this sort of triumphalist victory party sort of vibe, let's do it on Europe Day in May instead. In May, okay. Which is when some countries in the EU have a public holiday to celebrate the EU. My mistake then. Here, of course, the UK still hasn't left, and it's supposed to be about the end of October now. Wait, how... is this one of those things where it's a permanent suspension? Then it's not a suspension, is it? That's a ban. And on the contrary, if you keep pushing back when you're supposed to leave, then you're not leaving, which just means you've denied a referendum result. Because you guys know better in your glass tower in London. He added, if you want to be charitable, it is the proof that the UK and EU will still face the same challenges, so they can still come to the same city to discuss them. This is about the meeting in London. If you're being less charitable, you'd say the big boys and girls sit around the table here, and the UK is relegated to a venue outside the secure zone. Yes, funny that, isn't it? That they still want to come to London, almost as if we're going to be doing very well after we leave the EU because of how good London is. That's just work. They really threw me. How good the UK will be doing after we leave the EU, considering London especially being the finance capital of the world, that we're going to be able to trade the world over. That's not going to be an issue. But, of course, it's similar with the whole open borders thing, that it's just that the people at the top of their ivory towers to say, oh yeah, well, let's let in all these people, these hundreds of thousands of people a year in a country of about 70 million people. It's like, you can alter it by a significant margin, like percentage points in just a few years. If it's multiple 100,000, 300,000 a year, then you've got 3 years to be just under 1 million, which is 1%. So, of course, the infrastructure and the social services can't keep up. So what are you expecting is going to happen? I say, oh yeah, we're going to limit it to just 50,000. Well, no, you're not. You keep pushing back those ideas as well. Like, have we got to a point where politicians can't be honest because everybody's so caught up in the lies that you have to compete with the lies and just make the most realistic lie in order to be elected. You can't have people saying, "Oh yeah, well that's not going to happen because of, or because it's impractical or it's unfeasible, or you just don't want to do it." Or have we got a big cabal of the politicians who are all making shady deals to say, "Hey, I won't call you out if you don't call me out, and we can just subdue the masses"? Is that the idea? It's like it's the same. It's very similar to how the education system's going, isn't it? That you have the state-sanctioned education, and you have the teacher at the front, or the politician in this case, who's telling people what to do, and if someone's acting up, oh, then just sedate them, just drug them, you know? So, it's ADHD, give them meth, it's fine, yeah. So, in any other world, this would be seen as the insanity that it is. But for some reason, you get people who are supporting you with the media, or because you're paying them. They just don't want to be. They don't want to have to actually face competition. They forgot what it's like to be on the way up instead of suppressing everybody else. Which is why lobbying is such a problem. That the legislation just makes it more difficult for other competitors to rise up the ranks. And that's what I was talking about with Article 11 and 13. That it just quashes individual talent. It's like, isn't that the science though of a tyrannical government, that you're not allowed to question the ruling class because they're supposed to be godlike? They say, oh, they're doing something wrong. Say, oh, that's hate speech and you must go to jail for it. So you can't question the people at the top. No, you must be evil. Well, is that really that different from what's happening at the moment? I don't know. What do you guys think? Am I just making a big thing out of nothing that Jean-Claude Juncker is trying to just punish the UK and wants the worst case for Britain, and all the Remainers are going along with it because they might admit to saying that, okay, yeah, we got to leave, but they're going to make such a hash of it, and such a shit deal, that then we end up suffering because of it, and the people think, oh yeah, maybe we should join because it wasn't so bad when we were inside. So I think that the UK people are better than that, and it'll be like an act of defiance to say, well, no, fuck you, okay. If you don't like it, you leave. I'm just worried that this is going to lead to a Corbyn government, then you're going to have capital flight, and the taxes are going to go through the roof, again, like in the 70s. And people, obviously his supporters are, by and large, too young to remember that. 3-day work weeks, rolling power cuts. Obviously, I am as well, I don't have first-hand knowledge, but having grown up with a load of old people, I've been told many stories, including friends of people who were working during the war, Second World War. But yeah, that's it for me. There you go. It says Summer Gourmet takes place March 9th, Europe Day, and earlier said it was in May, so you can work it out for yourself. Oh yeah, last thing then, that Mr. May de facto Deputy David Lidington admitted European elections would go ahead on May 23rd. Vote Tommy. Vote UKIP. But said the government was redoubling our efforts to get an EU withdrawal agreement ratified by the start of July, so the MEPs elected this month never have to take their seats. I bet if Tommy and Sargon don't get elected and like UKIP suffer, it'll be pushed back even more. But if they do, then of course you're going to try and speed it up, because you can't have heretics, can you? No, of course not. Anyway, that's it from me. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Don't fight in the comments. Keep it civil, and I'll see you next time.